Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me for Simply Spiritual. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the I Am Mantras, and today's mantra, I am compassion. I am compassion. I am grace, the very virtue that comes to me from source energy. I am knowing full well that there is not sin nor hell. Therefore, I am grace through my acceptance of my others, no matter what they have done, will do, might do, say, don't say, have said. I am compassion, for I know full well that each of us on earth behaves as we do or have, contingent upon the information that we have received and accepted at the vibration that we may be. I am compassion, for I let all that seek hear the aforementioned words from my very being. I pity myself and others when I or they make mistakes. I am, however, never to beat myself up for my decisions. So it is uttered, so it is.
So it is.
Yes. Please join me in welcoming my guest to the show, Carolyn Dawley. Welcome, Carolyn.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. So, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I understand you are a shaman. Please tell us a little about that journey.
Yes, it's been quite an interesting adventure. And as you can see, I'm burning sage, and that's customary as a shaman. We use the sage just to clear out any energy that clear the air and remove any negative energy. So I burn sage and I use a feather that's common. Um, but I'd like to talk about my spiritual journey into how to have peace in the world, and also that led to the teaching of the medicine wheel. My journey uh, began in a small church in Colorado where I asked the question, how do we have peace in the world? And um, within just a couple of weeks, I started having visions of going to New York. And I wasn't sure why, but I packed up and drove to New York. I did find a job, and um, I was wondering why I was there. So I am a visionary. I've been on my spiritual journey for about 40 years now, really working for Creator and helping Mother Earth. And so that I've dedicated my life to this seeking. I'm a seeker of truth.
Mm.
And by asking the question, how do we have peace in the world? I was very serious, and it is my passion. And uh, working for peace as a peacemaker. So on my journey, it was in uh, 1990 when I asked the question. I made my way to New York, and I was working when the Native Americans came into the facility where I was working in a mission and working in the alcohol crisis unit, but also the shelter. And the Native Americans came in, and I was invited to come to their nation to meet people. And that's when I finally met Chief Leon Shenandoah. And he was the high priest, the high chief of the 50 peace chiefs of the Iroquois Confederacy. And um, I had sat on a hill and meditated before I met him and asked Creator, why am I here? And the answer came after a few hours of just sitting in nature. The answer came that the answers that you seek will come from the Native Americans. So I knew I was invited to their nation. And then I had the opportunity to meet Chief Shenandoah at a wake. And immediately he said to me, just think I had to wait all this time to meet you. So it was a spiritual path that was in divine order that I make this journey, not knowing why, but meeting the person who could give me some answers. Chief Shenandoah uh, taught me about the great law of peace and also the Thanksgiving address. And I spent almost 7 years learning from him. So, the great law of peace was brought to the five warring nations in the Northeast. And they're called the Hill People because they live in the hills and the forests outside of Syracuse and all up into Canada, the Six Nations Reserve.
Mm.
Um, what he taught me with the Great Law of Peace was a peacemaker came and spread the knowledge of peace is possible. And he gathered the warring nations under a tree at Onondaga Lake in New York, where he uprooted the tree of war and planted the tree of peace. And he said, under this tree, there are 4 routes that lead in all directions. And he gave them their ceremonies and their Thanksgiving address. And he said the tree is to grow up like their constitution. They are to grow up in the tree under the law of that he was giving them. So he uprooted the tree of war and asked them to bury all their weapons under the hole, throw all their weapons into the hole that caused so much bloodshed among these 5 nations. There was murder and killing, and it was nonstop. So when he told them to bury their weapons, that was to bury their weapons forever, and they were never to take up arms against each other. So this was the first United Nations formed, and they were given a constitution and civil rights that were taught. Benjamin Franklin was so impressed with their political system that he wrote the Constitution and signed the Constitution of the United States based on the Iroquois Constitution. So the Iroquois were very prominent at the signing of the Constitution.
Mm.
And this is well known in history and well documented of their influence on the United States government. So in time, Chief Shenandoah invited me to be his personal assistant and journey to the United Nations to hear the prophecies that are given. So the First People nations from North, South, East, and West were invited to this speaking of their prophecies to the world for the first time in history. And that became the Year of Indigenous People. And they did receive a seat in the House in the United Nations.
Mm.
I mentored with Chief Shenandoah for almost 7 years, and he passed away. So upon leaving New York, my work was finished. I came to Florida, and I was able to write this book. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Pathway of Peace, Journey to the New Earth. And what I learned, which is really based on Lakota Sioux medicine wheel, I learned about the circle of life, and that the medicine wheel is a circle of life, um, where all of creation is contained in this circle. So we begin with, this is a circle of the moon teachings, and they're very special teachings, that are each moon, and we receive the animal, the plant, and the mineral under the moon that we are born under. So I thought I could share some of that information. I did write this book, Medicine Wheel Ceremonies. So when I came back, my gift for all the knowledge I learned from Chief Shenandoah was to begin teaching the medicine wheel to people here in Florida. And I live in the Tampa Bay area in Palm Harbor. So for 20 years, I taught medicine wheel teachings and then put my ceremonies in this book for anyone who wanted to learn and do their own ceremonies. So for today, I thought it was important to give people an idea of calling in the circle. When we call in the circle, we set the sacred circle, and we call in the four directions. To the north, the direction of the ancestors. It's a place of the element earth, and it's a place where we receive wisdom of the elders. And then as we go to the west, it's a place of the past, and it's also the element water. Bear is the keeper of the West Gate and teaches us how to go within to find all the answers that we need. To the south direction on the medicine wheel is a place of fire of purification. I often see the deer in the south or the wolf. And that is a place where we find unity, brotherhood, and sisterhood. So the teaching of the South, that energy of the South, is to help us come together as one. And through the purification of our hearts and the rekindling of the fire within our spirits, it's the rekindling of love for all people and all our relations on the medicine wheel. And then to the east, it's the place where it's the rising of the sun, the new beginning, each new dawn. But it's also the place where we bring all our prayers and look to the future, as we build a bright future for ourselves and for future generations. In the south direction is the eagle, and the eagle is the messenger between heaven and earth. So I have personally received eagle medicine where I can help people. As a shaman, I do soul retrieval journeying, and the eagle is very helpful in showing people and how to unite with spirit, become one with their spiritual guide, and soar to higher realms, higher dimensions, where they can actually see their life purpose. So I have been doing soul retrieval as an outcome of these teachings. It is also the color yellow. It is a place of the wind, the winds of change. And that brings in a new beginning for us, a new, excuse me, new season, new beginnings. Excuse me. And it's a place of spring. So Um, this can be found in this book, which has to be rewritten in a second edition. Pardon me.
So, in your book, you document the process of doing soul retrievals.
Yes, that is this book. This book also needs a second edition, but it was all of my ceremonies that I did for 20 years. On the medicine wheel, there are 12 months, and the 13th month is in the center of the circle. So
Oh,
I wanted to, if it's okay, share the medicine wheel briefly because for each month, it's called the Wisdom Wheel of Transformation. It is a model for us to come into the circle and honor each month under each moon cycle. So for the first moon cycle, we begin with in January is the snow goose, and that's the animal. So we learn about the animal and what its characteristics are. And then the plant. And as an example, I will talk about this moon that is full right now. Um, and this is the 10th moon cycle that we are on now. The animal is the raven, which shows us how to go into the darkness, to go within to find the answers to our life and the questions we're asking. So it's very much connecting with Creator and Mother Earth and having the courage to go within the darkness where we find the light of our soul. Raven is that bird that came to me in a vision and showed me that they would teach me how to fly into the deepest, darkest place of a person's subconscious and find the light of the soul within and retrieve that. That's why it's called a soul retrieval.
oh,
So, Raven is very powerful for being able to go through the dark and find the light inside and bring that out of the shadow world to help us learn how to move out of that illusion into the light of our authentic self. Uh, so the first moon was the snow goose, and there's a reason why that snow goose is for the Capricorn moon. The second moon cycle is the otter, and they are very playful and they have many lessons to teach us. The third moon is March moon, and the animal is the cougar or the mountain lion. The fourth moon cycle is the red tail hawk. And hawk is very much a messenger. And when we see the hawk, whether we're out in the park or the hawk makes itself known to us, the lesson of that is that they're bringing us a message and we need to be alert. So the May moon cycle, it's the fifth moon cycle, is the energy of beaver, and as we know, beaver is very active and creating, building. So the beaver is always busy. So that's part of your personality. If you have beaver as your animal in the fifth moon cycle. So that would be a Taurus. And as we learn these animals, we can find out more about our own character. And we go around the circle honoring each moon and focusing just on that moon. And as we do, we get to know each person on the circle and their birth month and their particular character. The sixth moon cycle is the deer, and that is my totem. It's been my totem. The deer has been present in my life since I was a young child. But I was introduced to Native American spirituality when I had a vision of being outside a very dark forest. And I was told that I had to make my way through that forest to the other side. I was very frightened. I was afraid to give up my worldview as I knew it. But I was being asked to leave everything on the side of the trail and trust spirit to help me go through this forest. So I called on a guide and I saw a deer, a buck, who was standing there waiting for me to follow. All my fear left. I was really afraid. All my fear left, and I followed the deer through the forest. And I could see the sun shining through, breaking through. The canopy of leaf forest was very dark, so I began to see rays of light coming in. And as I entered, I could see in the distance a meadow with a large group of people in a circle. And as I looked at them, I saw the light inside was so bright, I could not recognize their faces. But I later learned that those are the elders who are continually praying for the earth. The Native Americans who join in the ceremonies when the people perform ceremonies. The elders are also performing a ceremony in the higher realm, the higher dimension, to help the earth. So I really see the medicine wheel came as a model to help people understand oneness consciousness. That yes, we have developed our oneness and our individuality. And now we're being called to come into oneness and understand that we are all one family. And so the medicine wheel is a beautiful model where we can learn about people, learn about different people, different minerals, different plants, and how they can help us to create this new earth that we want to create, that I talk about in this pathway being a pathway to the new earth. And this symbol up here is the symbol that I created to show how using eagle medicine and meditation, we become one with spirit and we are able to journey up through the sun, the portal of the sun, to view the new earth waiting for us. So it's really was a blessing to find that. So the people I saw out in the meadow, I became my passion, that I needed to find these people. And so that was before I went on my journey. So after my journey, this is what I wrote, the medicine wheel circles. And that came out is what I came out of as helping people come together, intersecting all people, all living beings on the medicine wheel. So to continue, for July, the seventh moon is the woodpecker. And when we see the woodpecker, it helps us understand the message that they're beating out a new rhythm, that we're going to enter a new rhythm in our life, which is so important that we have these signs. The animals are all around us teaching us and giving us these signs of what we can do to help grow spiritually and help us understand that the animals are here for a reason too. They are also evolving, but they are messengers. They are teachers to help us understand our own lives and and what our purpose is. So the 8th moon is the salmon.
Oh,
The 9th moon is the brown bear. And that is the place of October. And the bear teaches us how to go within, gives us the courage to enter the unknown. So on that side of the circle, the west, it's black, it's dark. And in that direction of the west is where we open the west gate on the medicine wheel. And that's where we are now. It's a place of fall, it's a place of becoming dark earlier, as we know. It's also a place of preparing and becoming one with spirit. It's in our inner self, where we go to join with our spirit, spiritual help, where we receive guidance, we receive instructions on how to reach the mountaintop, how to find our purpose so that we can help the planet and help the earth.
it sounds like introspection would play a big
It's
role.
introspection, yes.
Mhm.
It's a place of introspection and a time to be still and go into meditation and not be afraid to enter within ourselves to learn the answers that we are asking for our life and how we can help at this time. We are in a time of crisis, and we are learning the lesson of how to cooperate, how to come together in what is called oneness consciousness. And Blackout gave a beautiful vision of seeing this great tree in the center of the circle. That when we come together in oneness and sit under the tree, this great vision of all people from all directions coming and sitting under the tree in peace and being happy. The children are happy. They know they're safe. And the weapons of war have been buried. Um, so I'm just going to finish with this, and then I'll tell you about a meditation to help the earth. And I'm almost then Raven is um, another is the 10th moon, and that is the raven gives us help to go within and teaches us how to just go within the darkness and how to find our light and bring that so that we can fly out of the illusion. I love that song. What is it? It's about the raven and to find those wings, find your wings so you can fly out of the darkness of the matrix and all these programs that are really based on fear and power and greed. The medicine wheel very much helps us to learn to live in a different way that not only helps the earth and all the animals, helps us grow into oneness, understanding we're one family with many relatives on the medicine wheel. So the last one is the snake, November. It's a place where we shed the old, we learn who we are. So we shed those old programs that are not for our highest good. And it's the snake is the teacher of just shed it, let it go, let go of all that stuff that's keeping you, preventing you from moving on and having the courage and the passion to pursue who you really are, your authentic self. And then the last is the elk. That's the 12th moon is the elk. Very similar to the deer, very powerful and yet gentle. So the whole deer family, the deer is the leader of all the animals in the Eastern medicine wheel that
Mm-hmm.
I'm teaching. The Western medicine wheel has the buffalo, who is the leader of all the animals, because they have given everything to help humanity survive. And that's been part of who they are. They're the leaders because they have given all. The buffalo gives the people the skins to be warm in the winter and has provided the people with meat for centuries. And same with the deer. So they are the leaders. There's also plants and minerals for each moon. So the 13th moon is in the center of the circle. We have 13 moons every year, and that's the place of transformation. When we have experienced the medicine wheel, we experience each month and we learn the lesson of each month. So we get to know our relatives, we get to know our people, and that we are all living together in this circle of life. And we need to learn to get along. There are prophecies of um, a new race rising that will help lead the people from all directions, all colors, all creeds. It's called the Rainbow Prophecy. And I'm happy to be a part of that as helping bring about a model for change so that we can become one people, one family. And so the medicine wheel is a perfect model. And when we create the sacred circle in the beginning, the circle is then closed. And within the very center is the place where the shaman goes, and it's the place called the void. And that's where the shaman can travel the dimensions and find out what people's story was. But we're also creating the new story for the earth, where we all live together in peace and illumination, so that we know we are moving into that time now. um, I will be teaching the medicine wheel again. I thought I was retired, but I will be offering the medicine wheel, the teaching, a meditation, and also drumming, so that it will be either in our backyard around a fire in the winter or on the causeway on the beach or in a park. I will plan to do the medicine wheel for winter solstice. And the winter solstice is a time of receiving the new sun in our hemisphere. And December 21st is when the earth begins to move, so that we begin to have light sooner and longer days. So that's the meaning of the winter solstice, and giving thanks for all the lessons we've learned throughout the year by going around the circle and learning each moon, each animal, all the plants that help us, the minerals. And that way we learn about our relatives and we understand that we're all interconnected, and what happens to one happens to everyone. So that's the real meaning of interconnection and caring about other people. So anyway, I'm so thrilled to know I'm going to be teaching again. And I thought I wrote the books and that I was retiring, but I just have such a passion to bring about this oneness consciousness. And that's when the tree will blossom. And that's the tree that Black Elk spoke about. When our consciousness blossoms, the tree blossoms, because we have come to full circle and understand that we all came from Creator. And then we went out in the four directions to learn about the different, everything different. The four directions are all different. Then we come back and we can tell our stories of what we learned. And all of our stories are important. We're all important. And the lessons that we've learned. So I'm excited and happy to do this, to introduce the medicine wheel. There's so much more to learn, but I think in this frame of time, probably
I think
we
that was an excellent um, preliminary process, introduction,
preliminary.
preliminary introduction to the medicine wheel. Thank you so much, Caroline. This is new to me. I haven't delved into this process in depth, but thank you so much. And I do hope you join us again and keep us posted on your coming out of retirement
I
events.
haven't really retired. I've been doing soul retrieval, but
Okay.
as a shaman, and I did receive that title after really waiting for permission. And it was Chief Shenandoah who came through from the other side. He showed me a full wing, and on the handle was the Thunderbird. And he said, I'm giving you Thunderbird medicine. And what that means is I'm working with Creator. I receive instructions from Creator, and for as long as I can do it, I'm very open to teaching and helping the planet any way I can. So that is my passion. I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
And thank you so much, Caroline. You are an example of female leadership. You've welcomed the call to elevate your fellow humans as well as the planet in such a beautiful nature connected way. So thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you again. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for joining us for Simply Spiritual. See everybody next time.
Okay, bye.